There was a bipartisan immigration bill that was going to try to fix some of this stuff. And Trump didn't want to fix it. He made the House vote against it because he doesn't want a rational system. He wanted the system to fail, and they don't want it.
Conway cuts through the excuse pile. Trump doesn't want a solution. He wants a symptom he can weaponize. A bipartisan immigration fix threatened to remove his favorite talking point, chaos, so he crushed it. To Trump, broken systems aren't accidents. They're marketing. Why govern when you can sell fear on a 24-hour loop?
Far along there, and then I just started having this queasy feeling like I don't really want to work in this administration, because I was just watching the shit show that was going on with the Russia thing, with the firing of Comey, and the guy. It's just like the administration shut.
Nausea isn't just a side effect of watching a scandal unfold. Sometimes it's your conscience trying to escape. Conway didn't need a classified briefing to realize the Trump administration was less a government and more a traveling dumpster fire. Russia scandals, Comey's firing, ethics collapsing like cheap folding chairs. It wasn't a presidency. It was an unlicensed reality show, and somewhere along the line, even loyalty started gagging itself with us.
This administration is profoundly evil in ways that are difficult for Americans to comprehend. We have reached a stage of illegality, immorality, and depravity in a federal administration that no one could have ever thought.
George Conway didn't mince words. He delivered a diagnosis. America didn't just elect a government. It stumbled into a sociopathy experiment. Illegality, immorality, depravity, not side effects. They're the mission statement. It's not that Americans couldn't imagine this. It's that we didn't think we'd be forced to live inside a rejected season of House of Cards.
Rule of law, he does not care about justice. He does not care about right and wrong. He's a criminal. He's a convicted criminal, 34 counts. He stands charged with many other counts on which I really don't think he has.
Trump isn't a misunderstood outsider. He's a convicted felon with 34 guilty verdicts already inked, and more waiting in the wings. Conway doesn't speculate, he catalogs. Trump doesn't break the law out of necessity, he breaks it out of muscle memory. Right and wrong aren't concepts to him, they're technicalities he bulldozes while asking for applause. America isn't watching a comeback, it's watching a crime spree on tour. Lie not someone else's problem.
What do you know about the OPM and OMB, and they're just like offering people, not buyouts. Buyouts is a misnomer. They're basically just like, we're going to pay.
I mean, they're kind of, it's a combination of Project 2025 and shit coming out of Elon Musk's ass.
Yeah.
Just forgive me.
When federal offices start handing out golden tickets for loyalty oaths, it's not governance. It's a clearance sale on democracy. Conway sees the game. Mash together Project 2025's authoritarian fantasy and Elon Musk's latest fever dream, and you get the new hiring policy. It's not a buyout, it's a buy-in to chaos, cronyism, and whatever's leaking from Musk's latest revolution. Apologies accepted, George. No better words exist for this mess.
1980 to 2018, okay? I don't want to see a Republican Party led by a fascist, but he is a fascist. He cannot help but be a fascist. His personality disorders make him a fascist. He does not care about anyone else. He does not care.
Conway doesn't throw labels. He files diagnostic reports. Trump isn't a fascist because he read Mussolini. He's a fascist because he can't spell empathy. His disorders don't just nudge him toward authoritarianism. They put him on a bullet train headed for it. This isn't a political choice. It's neurological destiny. Trump doesn't fight for Americans. He barely remembers they're there, the wrecking ball P.
He can't help himself but emotionally react to things. One of the things that he's a narcissistic sociopath. That's the thing everyone has to kind of get used to. It's the reason why You cannot normalize him. You cannot treat him like a normal human being because he's not. He is.
Some people break the rules. Trump was born allergic to them. Conway makes it brutally clear. You can't normalize a narcissistic sociopath and expect democracy to survive. Trump doesn't just ignore the rule of law. He treats it like an optional Netflix plan. You don't negotiate with a man who sees constitutional crises the way toddlers see candy aisles, irresistible, unavoidable, and absolutely not someone else's problem.
The psychopath, because I thought he couldn't win. I just thought that, if all of us pitched in, things would turn out just right. Now, the problem is he's back.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced that even if the American people get their act together on him, and they're starting to realize that. I mean, there was this great article, I hate to say great article in Axios, but it was actually a great article.
There was a time when optimism felt reasonable. Pitch in, stay alert, fix the system, and surely the nightmare would end. Conway admits it. He underestimated the staying power of a psychopath with a slogan. Trump's not a political figure anymore. He's an invasive species. And even now, as America starts to notice the damage, it's unclear if realizing it will be fast enough to stop the next disaster, when Axios becomes the bearer of grim wisdom. Reality has caught up with us.
He's a psychopath, and even at his mental best, at his most acute mental state, he's a bad guy. He's basically represents all that is evil, as reflected in psychiatric.
Psychopathy isn't a campaign strategy. It's a clinical diagnosis. Conway doesn't need hyperbole. At Trump's sharpest, most functional mental state, he isn't a misunderstood patriot. He's a walking pathology, a greatest hits album of every dark trait psychiatry ever warned us about. Evil isn't something Trump became. It's something he curated, polished, and handed out at rallies like free merch.
I think everybody overthinks this guy. There's no strategy. There is no thought. And the brand is just him. He lives in this world where there's just him.
People keep searching for a master plan behind Trump, but Conway nails it. There isn't one. Trump isn't 4D chess. He's checkers, played with missing pieces. His brand isn't America, policy, or legacy. It's Trump. Full stop. Every scandal, every speech, every rage post, it's all just a mirror he stares into, admiring a reflection too big to share space with reality.
Okay.
But it's not just him, George. It's a hell of a lot of people out there who've gotten sucked up into this thing and that are perpetuating
I agree with
that brand.
I'm talking about in his mind.
Okay.
None of us matter. Those people don't matter. They're not real people. He doesn't care what happens to them. If they show him adulation and they do what his bidding, that's good. If they don't do his bidding, he will destroy them. He will discard them. None of us, in his mind, okay, he's someone as a man with no empathy, a man with no conscience. It's just him.
In Trump's mind, loyalty isn't earned, it's rented. Conway pulls the curtain. You either worship him or you're scrap metal. To Trump, supporters aren't citizens. They're props. Discardable, forgettable, replaceable. He doesn't care if you lose your job, your health, your dignity, as long as you clap when he demands it. Empathy isn't just missing. It was never installed.
Okay? He is a bad man. And why all of you out there seem to want to excuse him and pretend that reality is something other than what it is and what you want it to be is the problem. And I don't say that you're garbage because of that. I think you need to look in the mirror someday and start thinking about, is this man the man you want your children or your grandchildren to emulate?
If the man you defend wouldn't be allowed to babysit your kids, why would you hand him a country? Conway doesn't just blame Trump. He holds up a mirror to his defenders. Pretending reality bends to your hopes doesn't make it bend. It just breaks the mirror. One day, maybe soon, supporters will have to explain to their children why they rooted for a man who saw loyalty as a weapon and truth as an inconvenience.
They can, they have to try sometimes because they're out there to remedy violations of the laws and the Constitution. But at the end of the day, the courts are, you can't have 600 plus federal judges trying to run the federal government through litigation when the president is just refusing to do his job, and not only refusing to do his job, basically saying F you to the duties that I have. The correct solution, and this is what made JV laugh, and you guys put it up on the internet, what JV laughing at me, the correct solution that the framers intended was impeachment and removal when a president refused.
Conway lays it out. Courts can patch cracks, but they can't hold up a collapsing house. America wasn't built to have 600 plus judges babysitting a president who treats the Constitution like spam mail. When Trump shrugs off his duties with a national FU, it's not a lawsuit we need. It's a political fire drill. The founders didn't write impeachment into the manual for fun. They saw this coming. A leader who breaks the system and dares you to fix it while he's still holding the wrecking ball.
Psychopathocracy.
Yeah, rolls off the tongue. I can see how this could be really
what
catch
it
fire.
is if you take all the characteristics that I was talking about last year, about psychopaths, malignant narcissists, narcissistic sociopaths, whatever phrase you want to use to describe them, because all of those phrases are like overlapping circles in a Venn diagram. You have a government that is psychopathic because it is being run by psychopaths for psychopathic ends. And psychopaths seek destruction. This is what they are seeking. And, you know, that's where...
Imagine a Venn diagram where every circle says dangerous, delusional, and destructive. And the center isn't a person, it's a presidency. Conway connects the dots. We don't just have a broken government. We have a psychopathic one, a machine built by sociopaths to serve sociopathic goals. This isn't about policy failure. This is about a political movement whose mission statement reads, if I can't have it, I'll burn it down.
We are on the edge of a dark precipice where the rule of law doesn't exist, at least at the federal level. I mean, we're talking about psychopaths here. We're talking about sociopaths here. We're talking about people with no morals, no conscience, no nothing.
America isn't standing at a crossroads. It's clinging to a cliff. Conway sketches the view. A federal government where the rule of law has evaporated, and in its place a parade of psychopaths and sociopaths in bad suits. No morals, no conscience, no plan beyond what's in it for me. It's not just bad governance, it's moral gravity giving up, and right now, the fall is looking pretty inevitable.
He is the definition. If there is a diagnosis for evil, it is that of Donald Trump. He is a malignant narcissist. That is a phrase that was coined by a psychologist named Erich Fromm. I think it was in the 1950s. And what Erich Fromm was trying to do was he was trying to explain the psychological makeup of essentially the world's worst people, the Hitler, the Stalins. And he did. He basically just said the primary traits that these people have are extreme pathological narcissism. It's all about...
Back in the 1950s, psychologist Erich Fromm tried to chart the minds of history's darkest monsters. And without meaning to, he also sketched Donald Trump. Conway connects the dots. Extreme pathological narcissism, malignant ego, total disregard for anyone but the self. Trump didn't invent the script. He's just reading it louder with worse hair. If evil ever needed a clinical case study, it's standing on stage screaming about election fraud.